Hello everyone, it's Calvin. Thanks for checking in today's video. Today is July 9th, 2013 on a Tuesday. Coming back from after a long, nice holiday weekend, guys. Hope you guys had a great one. Now back to work, back to trading, back to the charts here. Let's start with the SPY. Beautiful retracement. This broke out beautifully. As I mentioned, guys, this was consolidating, building to go higher, and sure enough, we did that. I was looking to short this gap fill. We gapped above it. That's a gap play. Whenever you gap above previous support, now resistance, now it's going to be support on the way down. So that was not in play based on a gap strategy. That's no longer in the card. So we gapped actually above that, and that kind of just making, now we're just kind of making doji small candles on a float up right now, okay guys, on lighter volume. But this market does, the measure move does take you, up in a higher range of the 166, and that actually does take you above this previous pivot. So, but in my opinion, this is what I see. If you're bullish, this is what's going to happen. It's going to kind of reach to this upper range here and consolidate here. Okay, it has to consolidate this level. I don't think it already made a straight up move already, and the measure move does take you in this vicinity. So I would suspect that the 166 is going to stall out here and consolidate. It is going to build another base to go higher. Okay, or the other case, it could just crash down from here. If you want to short it, this is your stop out. Any close above the 166. I already went ahead and sold upside calls, spreads in the 168, the weeklies. So I had a little bit of premium there on the up move today, and I also did a small position on 167. So I actually won't mind playing a short there in the next, because I think that's some short-term resistance right there in this vicinity. See, that's the top of the Bollinger Band as well. If you go on a weekly chart, you actually stalled out there for 3 weeks. This was resistance for 3 weeks. So it'd be very surprising if it just busts through and closes above that, okay, at the first try. So that's why I went ahead and sold the 167, 168 up in here, just for a credit spread, just to finance some of my plays for the week. Okay, guys, I did actually went ahead and took a small position of SDS at the close. Just a small one, like a half position here. You don't like to see it close below this pivot because that's a failed inside bar pattern, but there's a lot of support down here still in this vicinity. I don't want to miss the move, so it's really going to depend on the FOMC meeting tomorrow. So it is a little bit of a wild card to play this, but I went ahead and if you look on a weekly chart, it is also a pattern that could still close it back above that pivot on a weekly time frame. So it still could be in play as an inside bar on a weekly chart. So as long as it closes back above here by the week, it still has some upside potential. Okay, so your reward will be up in this area, and your downside stop out would be right here. So there's a pretty decent risk reward there. So I didn't mind taking a small position. I'll probably add as it gets. If it does fail and get this lower pivot, okay, guys. But I'm looking for the market to kind of pull back here. It is into resistance, just based on some of the charts. Let's look at the QID, which is short the Qs. It's the inverse of the Qs, and you actually held that inside bar right here. Look at the weekly chart here. So on the Qs, it looks like it did hold this big green candle. So that bodes bullish for, actually negative for I'm sorry, bullish for QID, but negative for the Qs. Let's look at, I'm kind of jumping around. Let's go back to the SPY before I start jumping around really quickly. Let me just go over the daily chart. Once again, we're into this, resistance level. You look at the volume on this sell-off candle, and we're retracing on lower volume, and you are coming to a time count, and you are getting small candles. So whenever you get a big down move and you get small candles inside, that's the pattern you kind of want to see for inside bar pattern. Let's go on the XPX, and the XPX, another reason why the SPX is actually already into that pivot point right here. So you're already into that pivot. You don't have a nice candle here. Maybe you'll make one tomorrow, maybe perhaps a doji candle with the top of the Bollinger Band. Also, but you gotta be aware that the target, the measure move, does take you a little bit higher. So it could be a little bit of stress here. Let me just do a quick measurement, just rough estimate. If you just kind of measure out, if you take this consolidation period and measure it out from the breakout, it does take you to roughly this area as well. So that's why I went ahead and took a shot. If you also look at the E-mini futures as well, you're also into that pivot right here. This is the daily chart right here, guys. Let me just pull this away. See, that's E-mini futures contracts. You made a doji candle on the close. So that's another narrow candle. You're also into that pivot. So it's a decent spot to go ahead and try. You might get a pullback here. So we'll see how that plays out. Right now, it's just a small position of the SDS, which is the inverse of the SPY. Okay, guys. So that's what I'm looking at, the SPY into resistance. Let's see if we get a pullback and see how it goes from there. Let's go look at Apple's daily chart. Apple called out that resistance, and I figured that if any pullback would be a buying like a buying opportunity for these dip buyers, and sure enough, that's what we're getting. So this could be considered a bull flag. So if this continues to break out here above this high, we are headed for higher prices actually in the short term. It's going to be headed for the 50. Okay, with this consolidation, that's a perfect spot to take your long trade. The measured move does take you roughly in this general vicinity. I dropped before roughly in this 50-day moving average, and you also have this connected trend line. So roughly in the 440 area would be your target, upside target. Okay, guys, on Apple in the near term. Okay, let's look at Amazon. Amazon, I said, was headed for that 300 because the chart looks just so beautiful. Spacing apart the moving averages. It was consolidating at this fourth hit of this quadruple top. You don't really call it ever a quadruple top because usually they break out on the fourth hit. So that's the reason why I called that. Amazon wanted to go higher. I think 300 is your first pit stop, and then 315. So called Amazon beautifully as well. Google, quickly, let's see what we got here. Oh, it looks like it's breaking out of this kind of consolidation pattern. We closed back below it, but sure enough, it's showing its resistance here, closing back below it. So no breakout there in Google. Not much there. Let's look at Tesla really fast. Do a quick update. See, I haven't looked at it in a while. I think it built the base here for a few days, and we did confirm that. We did confirm with this this breakout. Okay, we finally confirmed because we closed above this high. So any retest of this level will now be support, and you can play that as an intraday play at the 115. Okay, guys, that's be a nice retrace of that confirmed level. It would be a nice opportunity to play as a day trade. If you want to hold it longer as a swing, you could play that as well. But for day trade, scalp, that's a beautiful entry opportunity. As long as the intraday pattern looks good, that should be a fine setup. LinkedIn, really fast, and see how that's playing out. I believe I had somebody ask about that as well a few comments ago. It looks like I did do a quick review of it. It looked like we were making a kind of a bottoming pattern, and it's breaking out to new highs, and then we just caught some short-term resistance. See this tail here, went right into that level and pulling back. So let's see if you want to attack these highs. Let's see if we can make some kind of pattern here with a time count into this, maybe retest this area here. That'd be a nice spot right here. The retest and these moving averages are kind of coming up right here. See the 20s coming up in the 50. So if you can kind of meet halfway into this trend line as this slopes up, see these moving averages are just kind of neutral-ish, not really. It's kind of a range bound. So if you can start getting separation here, kind of like what Amazon did. It's kind of exactly what I call it about Amazon. You got to watch your moving averages. See how Amazon was doing that same kind of consolidation period, and all of a sudden I started seeing this and start consolidating above it, and I'm like, what? I think Amazon's headed for higher prices, and sure enough, and that's exactly what we're getting. So that could be the case for LinkedIn. So we just have to wait for it to set up. Not much to do right now on it. Let's see if we can get a better consolidation pattern pullback on lighter volume. This is higher volume right here, so this is more of a reversal candle here. So let's see if it gets set up for a bullish pattern. Maybe it could perhaps go long, because the measured move off this, if you just take a rough estimate, it does take you to higher prices. Okay, so but it is short-term resistance here at this pivot. Here's a pivot right here. Okay, guys, let's see what else really quickly. Let's look at the SDS chart. It's pretty much going over the SPY. I already did that, but like I said, narrow range candles here, and there's support. And from what I'm looking at the SPX and the E-mini futures, it looks like we are into resistance. So I went ahead and bought the support line here. It's pretty much right at the close. Okay, so I'm pretty much flat on that trade at the moment. Is there anything else I want to take a look at really quickly? I know I'm going to be forgetting something. IWM, that's a good one. That's a really good indicator right there, and that kind of gets me on high alert, because we did break to new highs and on higher volume. But it could be a fake out as well. So we have to watch for confirmation, see if we close above today's high, and on the next day or in the next coming days, to see if then that's confirmed level. Okay, so we did close at all-time highs in IWM, so that's very bullish. So we are getting a few mixed signals. I thought maybe it would need to consolidate here a little bit more, and that it needed a lot of power to break above that. So I did that pretty decently. So let's look at Qs one more time. Qs are also still in this still inside this pattern here, inside bar here on this down move. So the IWM leading is a sign of strength for this market. Okay, guys, is there anything else I want to take a look at before I take off? I just want to do a quick update. A few scalps today, none really to mention, just a few pennies. Not much profit. Maybe I'll buy myself a steak dinner tonight or something like that, but not much there. But I think that's okay for now. I'll check you guys tomorrow. More update tomorrow. Wednesday is a big day, so let's see what kind of action we get. And I hope you guys traded it well today, and I'll talk to you guys later in the week. Okay, bye-bye.